How's it going, my dudes? Welcome back to another video. Golem EX is now live, so let's take a look at a couple of teams that I ran with. And here are the players that I ran with as well. You can take a look at their units. And if you do not already know, the team that I'm running with is the one that I've showcased before. You can check it at the link above. So the runs are going to be slightly longer, so I'm going to run it on 2x speed. So this team that I'm running with does not have a Cypher, but the next run, I'll be showing you a team with Cypher. They are both kind of okay, I guess, but the run times are a little bit slow. But then again, I guess this is more for like starter teams, right? From here on, now that the Golem EX is out, we can then improve on our comp. Now you will see Clarice being very useful here for removing the attack buff on the boss, so that actually increases the sustainability of your whole team. And the wombo combo works really well over here. I really like it. So I think if you replicate my team, you will be able to face a much better runtime, because the comp that I'm bringing in today has a good mix of damage, buffs, and buff removals. So the good thing about this team is it's very versatile. It can be used in pubs, it can be used in pre-made runs, and the survivability on this team is really top notch. So like I said before, consistency is key. I think it's extremely important that your team synergy works really well. So like I said before, whenever my Suzu goes, NYEllya will follow up with a skill, and that will do a lot of damage. As you can see over here, 3 million damage. It's quite good, I think. It can go higher. I have recorded 3.4 million damage in one go. So a little bit about Golem EX. It is pretty much the same as your standard Golem, except that he has like a new move, which is what you've just seen over here. He goes to the right side of the room, does an AoE, goes to the left side of the room, does an AoE, then goes to the bottom, does an AoE. That's about it. And he has something, I think it's called Pyro Punch, right? So he charges for a long time before shooting this flamethrower down to the bottom. He doesn't really hit tremendously hard, I would say. He's still quite tame. So I think as long as you can remove his attack buff, all is good, I think. But to be honest, we have done some runs without removing his attack buff, but it's fine as long as you bring mono water element, because then you'll be receiving 50% of the damage that you would take otherwise. But like I've tested before, Faf also takes in 50% damage, even if you have off element units. So honestly, I think maybe Faf is not exactly essential. You can definitely do without Faf as long as you have Walter and maybe Leon, depending on the kind of build that you're going with. There is only one attack that he does that is really powerful, and it's the third combo of his new move, the one that he goes to the right, to the left, and then to the bottom. However, you know that I've been talking for a while now, and my combos, or rather my wombo combos, have not even broken yet. So what we are praying for is we nuke as soon as the boss goes down, and in order for that to really happen frequently, you would most probably need to run it with some friends, I guess. But I've taken this team on pubs and it works pretty well, consistently securing quite top DPS all the time. So my final thoughts on Golem EX is pretty much just a race against time. Not in the sense that the boss does more damage after a while, but you really don't want to spend too much time on this every single day, right? So it's probably gonna be all about getting a very fast timing. And there is one very fast comp. I will showcase it in the future next time. But there you go, this is the run. And let's take a look at our score over here. As you can see, they're both running like some kind of at least comp. So I think they are probably doing some kind of power flip strategy. But as you can see over here, skill damage definitely triumphs. In a much longer run, we did 5 minutes and 25 seconds. Okay, so now let's take a look at how the team looks like with Cypher, right? This is still a work in progress, but I think the synergy is pretty good. I will explain a little bit about the comp as we go along. So this is the team that I'm going to be running with. As you can see, I'm using the encrusted sword on the left, because that's the only way to maximize my DPS at this point in time. It's not very recommended, I think, but I still feel like it's necessary. I hope you don't mind it. I'm just going to chuck the image over here on the bottom left so that you can refer as I go along. So we're going to be running with Cypher lead because she gives our team 100% attack as long as Cypher has at least 80% HP. And when Faf goes to less than 80% HP, he gets the 20% heal. And I mean, of course, the rest of my party benefits from the heal as well, but Faf is probably going to be the first unit that goes down to below 80%, right? And I'm using Liesel as her sub, and this is because, honestly, my leader unit is not going to be the focus of my team. Pretty strange, right? But I'm just using the leader slot for the leader skill and not for main DPS. So you're kind of used to seeing like your leading DPS being on the leader slot because you are using Suzu. Or you are going to be using Shroombo, that kind of stuff. So you're probably a bit thrown off by seeing this team over here. So basically the main DPS is on my second slot. That's going to be NYEllya with Rams as a sub. And she has to use the Hermit Staff as it gives the most DPS amongst any kind of combinations of my armaments. So like I said before, Rams is going to be a great sub because Rams grant a lot of skill damage. That which I lack because I'm not going to be able to run the Whitetail Axe over here, neither can I run the Shadow Flash Sword, because no Suzu as a main. Okay, then down to unit number 3, we have Faf and Razelt. I think this duo is pretty sick, but the thing is you don't really need Razelt over here. Razelt is just a nice to have unit. So a little bit about Raziel. Raziel actually fits the water theme really well. As long as your allies have at least 80% HP, they are granted 60% extra attack. And not only that, every 10 hits that Raziel takes, he actually gives his entire party an attack buff, which is really good because you need that to trigger the Okeanos Spear effect. So he's like a permanent source of not only attack buffs, but permanent source of Faf being able to tank the boss all the time. Now you might be wondering, why is my Cypher level 40? And that's because you don't really need her to be high level, you just need her to have her mana bot maxed out. I've talked about this before, not in a video but probably in comment replies. I get a lot of comments asking me about like, how do I choose which unit that should go to level 100 first? How do I choose which unit gets a mana bot max? I will cover this in the future. I think I get too many of these questions, so it's about time. But anyway, so this is the run. I think it's going pretty well. There is no wombo combo, okay? Like, if you're actually paying attention to the run, it's basically just a spammy comp, basically, right? So your first unit is water, your third unit is water. Therefore, your NYEllya is going to be throwing a lot of skills because you have a lot of water units just charging up her attacks. So yeah, it's just a spammy comp. Not really my preference, and you will see why at the end of this video. You take note of the runtime. It's not exactly fast, right? I think a fast run really requires proper synergy, proper timing of the skills. So that's World Flipper in a nutshell. It's all about team building and running it on auto to see how it works, and that's why I love the game. So I think if you're facing any difficulty with this run, it's because probably your units are not leveled enough, or maybe your mana bots are not upgraded enough as well. It's very easy to build a team that can survive, so that's very important. I think as long as you can survive, then you can work on your DPS from there. When you feel like your comp has enough sustainability, then you can progress to like removing one unit in exchange for like increasing your DPS. So for example, if you're running both Caillou and Diesel and then you find that, hey, you know what, the heals are enough, maybe you can replace Caillou with something else, right? Maybe you can replace Caillou with an Owl. So these are just some guidance for you. Do let me know if you face any trouble with this boss, and I will try my best to give you any advice that I can provide at this point in time, because I do have a lot of units that I can test, and I can definitely test your team as well, as long as you don't have a Sonya, that is. But anyway, yeah, so this is the run. I'm going to be showing you a much faster run, so you can check that out tomorrow, I think. I do have a very stable 3-minute comp, and there is also a team running around called the Sonya Mirror team, which is really fast. So we're going to look into that in the future, so I hope you enjoyed this video. This has been free to play, by the way, and as always, I will see you in the next video.